It's a pleasure to be here. I can see the room filling up, which is very exciting because I know you guys are all coming out of lunch. So I hope the data panel is going to all wake you up. So I'll let everyone introduce themselves and give us a few words about their role and what they're doing in their life.
Okay, I'll start. I'm Donald MacDonald. I've been in analytics now for 22 years. I'm the head of Group Customer Analytics and Decisioning at OCBC Bank. And I'm responsible for all of the customer analytics and HR analytics that happens across the OCBC group.
Hi, I'm Kevin Lee. I'm at GIC, where I run both GIC Labs as well as our data science team. On the data science side, we're really more focused on sort of using alternative sources of data and machine learning in the investment process.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honored to be here again at the FinTech Festival. My name is Richard Lowe. I'm the Chief Data Officer of UOB. I wear two hats in my organization. One side, I look after data management, data governance, and data strategy. And my second hat is around big data analytics. Thank you.
Thanks. Mike Blalock. I guess Richard and I are going to be sharing a mic this afternoon. So I'm the general manager for the financial services industry at Intel. I manage a worldwide team covering banks, insurance, capital markets, and we're really trying to focus on identifying the key business challenges that are in the industry and applying Intel technology that gets delivered through our partners to address those challenges and help this industry through the transformation it's going through. And for us, it's an interesting time because we're going through our own transformation at Intel, going from a PC company to a data company, powering the cloud and billions of smart connected devices, all generating a large, tremendous amounts of data. So very exciting time to be here because this industry is very focused on data. And look forward to having the discussion today with this panel.
That's super. Thank you, guys. So as we were saying before, so I'm Diana Paredes. I'm the CEO of Suade, so we're a RegTech company. And we wanted to just give you a bit of a setting around why big data has become such an interesting topic for the industry. And so as a tech company ourselves, I think that what we realized when we started our business is that everything was about data, whether you were talking about regulation or what you were doing with customers, everything became very much about data. And from the moment we started our business to where the industry is now, we have found that a lot of our partners have been actually people that have become, chief data officers. So the roles like the ones that we're seeing in the banking industry are actually quite new overall. And we literally started with people that, we have 100 people under their management that would end up now with more than a few thousand people under their management. So data is definitely a hot topic. And I think what's also quite interesting, so looking at it from like a regulatory perspective, and also because at the end of the day, this is the FinTech Festival is, sponsored by Maz. There is a reality that regulators as well have started to look at big data. They receive a lot of this data as well. And so I think it's been quite interesting to see the evolution of what data has meant for our industry in the past few years, and how at the end of the day, everything is about big data. So here in the panel, I think everyone is definitely an aficionado, like an enthusiast about what data can do for our industry. But in many ways, what we're going to try to do with this panel is also address, people's concerns and the challenges. So to really take a look at the reality of what it means to deal with big data. You'll have an opportunity to send some questions as well, and I think people can vote as to which ones are more interesting. So the plan is to go over some questions, and then as you send some questions through towards the end of the panel, we'll be able to answer some of your more burning questions. Super. So we'll start. I guess a good place to start is that when you speak about big data, what does that actually mean in your different roles? We have very different views in the panel from the industry, from the investment perspective, and also from a tech partner. And I guess that one of the questions, in the industry, we've always spoken about big data, so why has this become such a hot topic? Is it just a buzzword, or is there really something going on? Do you want to start?
Sure. I think the first thing I'd like to say is that the term big data itself is all relative. If I speak to a retailer, probably my data looks very big compared to them. But if you compare my data against a Google or against an Ali, my data is actually very, very small. So I'd say bigness of data is all very relative. It's also not about how big your data is. It's about what you actually do with the data that really matters. So I don't think it's about size. At the bank, I think you're right. We've always had a lot of data. Data is the lifeblood of our business, and the type of stuff that in the bank we typically look at would be things like the customer transactions, very much structured information. Where do you transact? What products do you hold? What did you purchase? What channels do you interact with? Historically, that's been the data that we've been working with since the late 1990s. Big data to us really means three things at OCBC. Big data means cheap data, new data, and fast data. Cheap data is all about using big data platforms really to lower the cost of our analytics infrastructure. Moving everything out of a high-cost data warehouse environment and leveraging commodity hardware. New data is all about getting value out of data sources that previously we couldn't access. Unstructured information like machine logs, voice logs in the call center, CVs, Word documents in our HR analytics practice. The third area we use big data is what we call fast data. And fast data is all about the move away from batch information to real time. And so leveraging real-time information in the branches, in the contact center to make contextually relevant decisions. And so for us, big data is a real thing. It's not a revolution, it's more of an evolution of what we were doing before.
So on the investment side, it's slightly different. For us, while we do have some amount of sort of internally generated data, we are actually by and large concerned with sort of external data. I think if you think about sort of how the capital markets work, they're really about reflecting in the market what is already happening in the world. And I think what's different about this day and age that we live in now is just the richness and sheer variety and volume of the data that you can now process to make sense of the world, which you could only sort of make sense of in more qualitative ways, like in the past. So if